Eric, could this mess have been avoided, or was this inevitable?
I think if no, yes, it could have been avoided, but at the end of the day, contract negotiations get ugly, and
Mhm.
you have to wait things out. And sometimes it's a little bit less than ideal, but you want to come to some kind of common goal. The 49ers, though, they seem like, I want to say no nonsense type guys, but we saw the situation with DeForest Buckner. Buckner, he just came back this year, I think, when they played against the 49ers and talked about it. Like, they didn't even try to meet me in the middle. They
Mhm.
had their number, we had our number, and I didn't want their number. And they're like, all right, well, go seek a trade.
Yep. Yep.
And so if they're doing business like that, I think it's
Yep.
a little bit harder to avoid it.
Right. I mean, it could have been avoided if they would do business differently. It
Right.
seems like what they do is they they come in with a real low ball offer at first, and it's not official. But they come in real low at first, and if you're a player like Kittle, Armstead, Jimmy Ward, you don't have a lot of recourse. You sweat it out, and you finish the negotiation over time. But with these players like Buckner and Deebo, who are really among the best of the best, they don't necessarily have to put up with that. You know what I mean? If they feel like the initial lowball offer is insulting, now I'm not saying Buckner reacted that way, but I feel like you can't necessarily do business with the top best players in the league like that. You kind of have to cater to them a little bit more. Am I wrong?
I mean, it depends on the person. It depends on his personality, And Debo is a little bit more. You got to know who you're dealing with, right? George Kittle doesn't come off to me as emotional in the sense of like how you talk to him.
I agree.
Right? He's on the field. He's talking to guys. He tries to shake Stephon Gilmore's hand before a route.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man?
He's goofy.
Like
yeah,
stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So you probably say something to him, and he's just like, all right, whatever. And he might, hey, talk to my agent about it.
Right.
Deebo to me comes off as a little more emotional from that standpoint.
I totally agree.
Not saying he's not tough. Clearly, he's a tough guy, but just in the sense of
passionate.
Passionate. I think he wears his feelings on the sleeves a little bit.
He cried at the championship game. He was totally emotionally invested. It's part of what makes him great.
You could probably hurt his feelings.
Yes,
a little more than you could maybe George Kittle in contract negotiations, to where he would react by scrubbing his accounts and not wanting anything to do with the thing, and then come out and say, well, I'm getting death threats and I don't care, y'all not getting to me, but you cared enough to post a video about it. So, I think he's just a little bit more emotional from in that sense.
I think what like the old school Niners would have done, Eddie DeBartolo, Carmen Policy. Carmen Policy was the Parag before Parag, and he was Italian. I'm Italian. He was Italian. They used to do it differently. I mean, I'm thinking Carmen would have made Deebo feel like, man, you're a made man. You're in the family. We love you. Okay. And that's not what Parag does. Parag comes in and he's like, you're not as good as you think you are. Let me take you down a peg. Let me win this contract negotiation. Before the Niners put the screws to Deebo in the contract negotiation, I think Carmen and the old school bunch made him feel like, you're one of us. We love you. And I think that's what Deebo needed. Just some recognition that he made a sacrifice and the 49ers would take care of him on the back end. And they didn't. They're like, oh, thank you very much. Psych, we're using it against you. Now you're worth less. You're not really a wide receiver. That's messed up. To me, that's that. I mean, if I were Deebo, I'd think, where's the lawyer? How can I ever trust this organization again? Right? You got some people saying they love me, some people saying I'm only this. Hard to do business with an organization like that.
And from all reports, I mean, even from him talking, he and Kyle Shanahan have a very open relationship where they talk and communicate all the time about anything and everything. So how do you go from that to being upset after a conversation? Maybe he felt, and again, now this is speculation, but he could feel a little slighted by or backstabbed by Kyle Shanahan. Like there could be that, where it's like, man, you're supposed to look out for me in these negotiations.
Right. And like, I think Deebo probably figured out like, hey man, because I don't think he realized until recently that this whole wide back thing would cost him money. I think he really thought, I'm going to make more money. Versatility is good. I'm showing all the things I can do. And now he's finally realized like, wow, I'm going to get screwed for this. And I think he probably talked to John and Kyle, was like, look, if this is going to be held against me financially, I'm not going to do it anymore. And I don't think they could handle that. John and Kyle, they're like, look, you're going to have to play. That's part of the deal here. And I think that's the issue. So maybe, I don't know if they could fix it. If they could just say, look, fine. Here's all the guaranteed money you want, whatever. We'll use you. Are they going to do that? I don't see it. Maybe. I doubt it. Loyalty, as in he did his best. Niners don't want to pay. It's true. I mean, where's the loyalty on the Niners part? Deebo never complained. How many players would just switch to running back midseason? I don't know.
All right. I mean, he was excelling at it. He scored 8 rushing touchdowns on the season, and it's like, man, I am having a certain level of success, but
yes,
to use that against him, and as they should. Like if I'm negotiating his contract for the 49ers, I would say, hey, we use you at this running back position. Running backs don't last as long, but we think that's where you're best at being utilized in all aspects of a game. So we just got to pay you less for it, though. I mean, I would come at them. I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but that's how I would come at them too.
That's how it works too. It's like, what could they have possibly said to Deebo to not hurt his feelings? This is how negotiation, they come in low, you come in high, you work in the middle.